What are you doing? This is behind the scenes.
Don Robbie, how was your weekend?
Weekend was good. Looking at a bunch of losers.
Oh, what?
Coming from you.
Just lost to Aston. I don't care. If you're in a bad mood, you're going to get even worse. That's why I don't give it first, because when people give it to me, they get blown up in football. So that's why I don't on my mouth first.
I'm not going in the gantry today.
Abby, would you like to put on the sausage outfit?
Gantry!
He's the most arrogant guy when he's winning. Give it all this. The top is just us. And look now, bro.
He talks a big game about football, so let's see if he can play the football yet.
They're supposed to be joggers, bro. These are Megans, bro.
Lots away, man.
She should have had the shingles today. Her team's got the shingles, bro. That's what they could
It's not funny, let me know.
Oh, shit.
Good win, man.
I think it's a hot dog, everyone.
Don't try and get at Arsenal fans. I'm saying that Arsenal are going to win the quadruple. That's what I'm saying.
I would only start thinking about it if we don't get a result against Wolves. Well, we're here.
You're gonna walk in and you have to dodge the bottle, man.
Nobody else gets this shit.
Soccer Saturdays are going to hit different in the EFL, bro. That's where Spurs are heading. To the English Football League.
I'll buy you lot a new one when you get someone to replace me on Best of Enemy.
Walk out with the stick. Walk out with the stick, man. I'm born back out. Right.
Yes, people, we've got something special for you. This is Everything Boxing, a brand new show beyond the ropes. My name's Melissa Zad, and I am joined by the better looking and the smarter of the Lar brothers, Sir Laurie.
Make sure you check us out on DR Sports every week.
Moses Atama versus Jermaine Franklin.
What happens when he gets hit squarely on the chin?
He's ducking Usyk. He's not taking the big fights, this, that, and the other.
The heavyweight division right now is as stacked as it's ever been.
This man has not fought more than 10 minutes since July of 2024.
Let's go. What do you do with yours? I do unlimited football content.
Well, I do unlimited bragging.
Well, I do unlimited swiping right.
Well, I do unlimited doom scrolling.
Well, I do unlimited sliding into the DMs.
Well, I do watching TikTok on the bus without headphones unlimited.
Oh, God.
Yes, people, welcome back to DR Sports. It's Friday, and normally I say it's Friday and get ready for the weekend's games, but it's international break, and I thought maybe I would have a fun international break. But Wales last night decided, as you can probably see on the thumbnail, to let me down big time. And today, we've got people to talk about it. There's also loads of transfer news, obviously, coming in about Michael Olise. We've got stuff about Sean Dyche possibly heading towards Tottenham, which is an interesting decision. And today, on my left, we've got Josh back on the panel on a Friday. How are you feeling, my friend?
Knackered, mate. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Knackered?
Just on a house move, so I missed all international games except Brazil-France, which we'll get to it.
Well, that was on at the same time as all the other ones.
Yeah, but you know, I've got like 12 screens. I do Sky Sports settings in my house. It's a bit of a madness.
I hear it. And then also on the other side, we've got Kenya as well, who I know was back in Wales, weren't you? Well, you were messaging me. You said yesterday you were Welsh for the day, and it's sad. I'm sad. I'm so sad.
I've gone back to being Jamaican and English.
Yeah, no, it's So look, we may as well get the talk about Wales out the way. So literally, I've not seen a goal. Like, I'm not sure if you've seen it, Josh, but Dan James's goal was it's one of the best goals I've seen in a long, long time. It's an absolutely incredible goal. Wales, we played better on the night. I don't want to say we deserved to win the game because it was us that lost. We lost the game for ourselves, kind of thing. Like 86th minute, they equalised. Extra time, obviously, like Dan James hit the post and the crossbar. We're definitely at the crossbar. Then it goes to penalties. Nico Williams and Brennan Johnson, who kind of ghosted the game, also just he also missed his penalty, ghosted the game. I'm gutted. I'm so gutted because I remember saying yesterday, so in the 2022 World Cup, we were disappointing. We got to the 2022 World Cup. I was so excited for it. We were disappointing. We scored like 1 goal, and it was a Gareth Bale penalty. And across the 3 games, we got knocked out. We lost to Iran, 2 late goals, drew to the USA, lost our other game, and it was just so sad. But now I was like, 2026 World Cup in the US, it can be fun. We can get there. You know, we got to beat Bosnia and then beat a poor Italy side, and then we will be there. We will now not be there. And also Northern Ireland also knocked out. You've also got Republic of Ireland knocked out as well. It just makes me sad. But there's also nothing really to do about it. And
Did you actually have hope though?
Yeah.
Who's in your team?
Who's in our team?
Yeah.
I can tell you the starting 11 if you want to hear it.
Rodon,
Dan James,
Darlow.
Joey
I thought
Rodon.
Darlow was brilliant, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
That save that he did at the near post, I was like, oh, that's a goal.
Darlow's a good goalkeeper.
Yeah, he's really good.
But like we got
really
Brooks as well. I do really like Brooks.
Dan James is your best player.
And Purdue.
No, Harry Wilson's our best.
Well,
player.
Harry Wilson.
I just kept hearing you say Dan James.
No, because his goal last night was so ridiculously good.
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was.
I couldn't believe what I was watching. Obviously, I've watched a lot of Dan James over my life, and I like him as a player. He's fun.
He just like.
But where did that come from?
It was just so instinctive. Like he just headed it down. He didn't even like fully look. He just headed it down and just. Honestly, I can't believe it. He just banged it.
Yeah.
And he just saw that the goalkeeper kind of slipped. I think the goalkeeper didn't really slip. Maybe he could have got a hand to it, but he just.
No, I think it was just.
He slips a tiny bit, and it was just like the power that he just put behind it. It was just such a brilliant strike.
I think it's too good, and it's just.
Yeah, I felt really sorry.
Because after obviously we drew to Bournemouth 2-2, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to hold this for the next 23 days now. But at least I got Wales.
Well,
no. And there's not even another game because we're not going to be. I don't think we're playing now. We're not playing on Tuesday because the whole point was it was the game against what would have been Italy.
Yeah.
Also would have been Cardiff.
Yeah, Italy went through as well.
Because it also would have been in Cardiff.
Yeah, yeah.
Which would have been huge.
You had a lot of support.
Oh, I'm just.
I saw everyone with I love the little hats you guys wear. Actually, that's so cool.
What, the bucket hats?
Yeah, I love the little bucket hats.
I've got like
badges.
3 of them.
Yeah, I really want one of those. But I just felt really sorry for Wales, to be honest.
Yeah.
Started off really well. You could see all the fans behind you. Like, I think I was obviously watching it on TV, and what was like funny was that the commentators were like, you could see they're very stressed, and then Dan James just comes out with this wonder goal.
Oh, that was a goal. Okay, yeah.
He comes out with this wonder goal.
Well, my jaw, I was in that.
It was mad.
My jaw was on the floor.
Yeah.
It was absolutely on the floor.
What's worse afterwards, literally like maybe 3 minutes later, hits the crossbar as well.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh my God, this guy's just like turning the game on its head. He hits the crossbar. And then Edin Dzeko, we have to big him up. How old is this guy?
40.
This is one of the most underrated
I saw their starting lineup and I was like, I didn't realise he was still playing.
He's probably one of the most underrated footballers ever. Like, that guy just pops up in the 85th or something minute and scores an equaliser. Like, he was there, in extra time arguing with Craig Bellamy. That was so funny. But, like, big moment. And it means Bosnia go to the next part, where nobody really had any faith in them.
Yeah, Bosnia, Italy. Just fair play to them. We choked.
Yeah.
We had the lead.
They really
we could have held the
did, to
lead.
be
We should have
honest.
extended our lead. We choked. We then didn't come back into the game in extra time. Penalties. We missed our penalties.
And
So
what's worse is that
we knocked ourselves out.
What's worse is that Bosnia missed their first penalty, which by the way was a dreadful penalty.
Yeah.
And Carl Darlow just did the amazing thing of saving it. So I'm like, right, you've got this now. Just go and score the rest. And literally, Brendan Johnson. What is Brendan Johnson doing? I literally was like, you know when you miss a penalty, right? It's forgivable when at least you've got it on target and the keeper saved it. But just not to get it on target, that was a terrible penalty. He just put it over the bar. And like he had a terrible game as well. The only good things I can remember was him putting out clearances.
Yeah, he was
Like,
non-existent.
he did absolutely nothing. And I was just like, bro. And then obviously Nico Williams misses his penalty after, which I also thought wasn't a great penalty. And Bosnia, I just remember saying to my dad, when Brendan Johnson missed, I said, I know Bosnia are going to score the rest. And they did.
Yeah.
Took brilliant penalties after that. Bang. Through.
Yeah, I don't want to spend too long on it because I want to.
Don't cry.
I want to get it over with. Well, no, I had to cry for the thumbnail apparently.
Yeah.
But moving on to other news, is just funny. So yesterday and the day before, I said that who Spurs hire next should Igor Tudor leave. Well, he's almost certainly to leave. What I called it the most important decision in Tottenham's entire history. Who they appoint now to try and save him from relegation is the single most important decision I think anyone will have made at that club, at least in my lifetime. But I do think like to a larger extent as well. And now, according to the Telegraph, Sean Dyche is a potential candidate to take over at Tottenham for the last 7 games. First choice Roberto De Zerbi continues to hold out on starting the job. Now he favours the summer. But is Sean Dyche a good option for Spurs here? Because for me, the issue that I've always had with Tottenham in this relegation battle is they don't have anyone who actually knows what it's like to be in a relegation battle. You've got Nottingham Forest, they've got Vitor Pereira, who got Wolves out of relegation and kept them up in the league last season. They've also got, at Nottingham Forest, some players who kind of know what they're doing in a relegation battle, know how to fight for a point, know how to fight for 3 points, know how to fight. West Ham also have the same. They've obviously got Nuno, who's very, very good at that kind of stuff. And they've also got players like Jarrod Bowen and co, who can fight for these games, fight for these points, find that little extra edge. Whereas Tottenham, what do anyone at the board, in the coaching staff, in the players, in the academy, anything know about relegation battles? But Sean Dyche...
Yeah, I was going to say.
but yeah, other than Richarlison.
Other than Richarlison and Archie Gray, who obviously both Richarlison at Everton, but Archie Gray with Leeds, being in the Championship, knows what it's like to fight. And that's why I keep saying, I generally think at the moment they're going to be relegated. Because you look at West Ham, you look at Forest, you look at those teams, even teams that we all know are going to go down, like a Burnley and a Wolves. Mm-hmm. You see those players fighting to at least show some level of pride. You look at Spurs in almost every game, there's no level of pride. The only level of pride they've shown was against Liverpool in that 1-1. And against Atletico, but again,
they were kind of on the pitch.
But again, we're talking about Atletico team that had already smoked you 5-2 in the first leg, and were just, as you said, on the beach. So I'm just like, this whole appointment thing, this should have been done long time ago. As I said, you went and got Igor Tudor, who knows nothing about the Prem, nothing about Premier League football whatsoever, and you've brought him in to try and save you, and actually you're just as bad, if not worse, than you were when Thomas Frank was here. What's the point? Sean Dyche, I said at the time, go and get a Sean Dyche, go and get a Big Sam. Like, the reality is, I know Spurs fans will be like, oh, I don't. At the beginning, might have been like, oh, I don't want someone like that.
You can get.
I'm like, bro, you're not in a place of wanting and choosing. You're actually in threat of going down and going to the Championship and not coming back. Like, let's not take that for granted. No one's too big to not be relegated. We see Newcastle and Aston Villa and Sunderland, really big teams, get relegated.
Well, we saw Sunderland go to League One.
Exactly. So
Leicester
right now, exactly
in the relegation.
Yeah, West Ham. Like, we're talking about really big clubs that have
only
gone
Arsenal
down.
and Everton have never been relegated.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody else has been relegated. So if you want to be serious about your club, you go and get someone like a Sean Dyche, who's a specialist in this, who comes in and says, no, he's not on a nonsense thing. He gets everyone together. He rallies the troops and says, right, yes, it's going to be boring, but we just need to fight and get out of it.
Do you think it will be enough, though?
I think this. Do you know what it is, right? If you look at all of those squads, if you look at Forest, West Ham and Spurs have the better overall squad. I even think, I know they got injuries right now, but I look at that team and I'm like, you've actually got the better defense, you've got a better midfield, your front three questionable because of injuries.
In theory,
but overall you've got
so much better.
Exactly. Overall you've actually got the better team. You just need someone who actually knows what they're doing to really get this team together and be like, right, all this nonsense of we're getting red cards and doing all these stupid fouls and giving away penalties and all that, lock that. We're being serious. We're going to play maybe a low block and just go on the counter and score. Why not? Like, the tactics of... Like, for example, one thing I would say, Igor Tudor keeps persisting with Kolo Muani, who, to be honest, has done nothing. Richarlison, every single time he comes on, at least he gets a goal.
He gets a goal or just
he gets a goal. He does something. He, like we were just saying, he's someone that actually knows what it's like to be in a relegation battle and actually fight and score in those big moments. Just start him. Why are you starting Kolo Muani, who, to be honest, has been a flop? Doesn't make any sense.
And it's relegation with Charlton. We keep talking about this.
Exactly.
But you know how you talk about, obviously, technically in theory, the Spurs players are better than the other one.
Yeah.
But I remember as we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, who from the current Spurs team right now, how they're playing, you do a combined starting 11 of Forest, West Ham and Spurs. Who from the Spurs team actually gets in that starting 11?
None of them. Not
I
a
don't
single
think
one.
a single
They're
one.
not. And the other thing is as well is that
in midfield.
Nah, he's not even getting it.
But even then,
are you telling me I'm not even taking Bergvall right now over a Gibbs White? Absolutely not.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah. Actually,
Or-
to be
or
fair, midfield, you've got maybe Mateus Fernandes.
Yeah, you got
Gibbs
Mateus
White
and Gibbs White. Even someone like, although he's washed and he's old, someone like a Souček knows what it's like to fight.
Hasn't Souček been playing a right back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uncle's been around the block. He's still here
been there around the
fighting.
time.
That guy in the air. Are you crazy? No.
He scored against us in when we played them in the 1-1.
Exactly. I just look at their team like none of you. How you got a better defense than everybody, but your defense is what 31 goals conceded under Igor Tudor.
But this is
How many
my thing
games
with
did
them.
he
I'm like they're not. Are they gonna
31
activate?
goals?
Are they gonna activate? That's my thing, because even if you're bringing in Dyche and he knows what he's doing, sometimes when teams get in these situations and they go and get the guy to save them from relegation, it's already too late. This should have been something that had already happened. Now you've got it's not going to be like he's going to come in. Well, I say that. I can't make a guarantee of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But there's the possibility that he comes in and whatever he does, even if he does get it right, if it doesn't happen in the first 1 or 2 games, it could already be too late. If West Ham get those results, then you're already going, oh, we're falling behind.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I think what's
if
worse,
you got as well, Leeds are going to be falling. They're in the fight. I literally said to you 2 weeks ago, Leeds are still in it.
Yeah, they are.
Do you know what I'm saying? And
But
they're
do you know
literally
what-
there.
Do you know what it is with Spurs? Right, they've got 6 pointers, so they just had a 6 pointer against Forest and got smoked 3-0.
Leeds are on 33.
They got another 6 pointer against Leeds coming up. Do you have faith that they're going to beat Leeds? And I'm not even. I'm not really sure.
No,
they
Like-
are.
not remotely.
Do you think they're going to beat Wolves?
Exactly. Would
Wolves
they
on
even
the beach and just
no,
beating
they haven't
people
beaten
for the
Wolves.
for the
Remember,
fun of it.
remember they played Wolves at the start of the season. They drew 1-1 at home at the start of the season. That was like their 7th game of the season, and they drew 1-1.
Yeah.
Is there any faith that they'd go away to Molineux and win? Like,
Are you going to Villa away and winning?
or Sunderland away? Like, or you got Chelsea.
Chelsea away.
You got Chelsea away. I look
And
at
then
them games
Everton
and
at
I'm
home
like,
at the end. And even Everton are playing good. They got one of the best away records in the league.
But then,
Exactly.
but
You
then
know
on
what
the
I'm
other
saying?
hand, are they not the exact games that Sean Dyche is always very, very good at?
yeah.
He is very, very good at those.
But do you
kind
know
of
what?
games.
Do you know what it is? Right. We need to look at it like this: the Spurs boards, the level of arrogance that board has had so far this season, it's actually their own fault. You kept Thomas Frank in. I'm not being funny. I'm an Arsenal fan, but that's the first time I've seen a North London derby, a Spurs team come and not even fight. They came with 5 at the back with Thomas Frank. If I'm a Spurs fan, I would have had him sat then and there after that derby.
Well,
After
that was the moment.
after-
that
yeah,
Abby,
that
Abby
was-
Abby switched
that was
moment,
back in what, November or something, or October, where it
was
could have
yeah,
been
November.
where he was on a terrible run, and it's like, right, the players are just not connected with him. You've just been smoked 4-1 at the Emirates. Like, just sack him then, get someone else in. You might not even be in a relegation battle. No, they persisted with him all the way up to the game before the Arsenal game, which is how many games later. Sacked him, then said, yeah, actually, instead of maybe getting a specialist in Premier League relegation battles, we're going to get a guy who's from Syria who actually ended his last times in Syria ended really negatively with all 3 clubs that he was with. We're going to go and get him where he knows nothing about Premier League relegation, and now they're still complaining that 8 games in they've not won. They've won once against an Atletico team that smoked them 5-2 anyways,
Yeah.
and they're out.
It's.
They ignored
I mean, like old school Candy in the chat seems. He says that it seems like most Spurs players prefer to get relegated to secure a move for cheap elsewhere, which puts Spurs at a
in
huge
their best
disadvantage. How true do you think that is? Like,
Um,
are Spurs,
I think it's definitely
are
true for some.
players-
It's definitely
Are
true
some
for some.
Spurs players sat there thinking, I actually kind of want us to go down?
It's definitely true for some, because if you look at it, finishing 17th last season, and then again now being in the battle for relegation, and it looking like last season you were there by default. You and United were the 2 worst teams outside of the teams that had already been
horrible,
relegated.
yeah.
Like those teams went out so early, it was just like, well, they're never going to fall down to that. But you guys,
like 16 points clear of
Yeah.
18th, didn't they? Even though they lost the most. Yeah.
yeah,
bad.
it was crazy. And then now you're going to, all right, we've gone on a run on that. You work at the club. You see how the board works. You see how things work at the club, and you're going to say, do you know what? Yeah, I'm going to stick around and wait for it to turn around. No.
That's why I
How
say
crazy is it like for players like Kulusevski, right? Who's obviously
Yeah.
was out. We're
Yeah,
coming
it
up
was
to the
sweet,
1-year anniversary of his last appearance in the next couple of
Wow.
weeks or so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it was.
I'm not gonna lie, I forgot he existed.
Yeah, Kulusevski, I really like.
Yeah, I like him as
I
well.
think
I don't like him because he's
Quality
Tottenham, but
player.
whatever.
But like
Arsenal
as a
fan.
player,
I'm
he's
racist to
great.
Tottenham. Sorry, guys. It is what it is.
But I feel like he said recently that he had to have like another little thing on his knee.
Yeah, so I think it's just been delay.
Yeah.
Delay.
But like again, Kulusevski in the summer had a serious operation on his knee. The reality is knees never get better. You can only just delay it along. You can just delay the process of it just gradually getting worse. So I just think to myself, they looked at it in the summer and was like, James Maddison tore his ACL right at the beginning of pre-season.
In pre-season.
Literally waited to the dying moments to get Xavi Simons and thought that was enough. Like, come on, you've only got one. Like, think about it. You've just lost.
They were so convinced they were getting Eze, and they just seemed to have no.
But then,
backup
where's
plan.
is that?
But even then, they should have learned from last season, because last season they had the same problem.
To losing out on Eze.
But
so
Xavi Simons also looked like he was going Chelsea for a while as well. So it's not even looked like their backup plan was.
I just think to myself, right? You lost your two number 10s, probably your two most influential players, and you only replaced them. You replaced them with one player. How does that make sense? How can you tell me that's good planning from your board or anything like that?
But this is literally what they do, shooting themselves in the foot all the time. They already knew beforehand that this was going to be an issue. They already had a humongous amount of injuries last season, which they blamed for. We're 17 because the whole team's injured. So if the whole team's injured, go and buy a whole new team. Obviously, you can't go and buy a whole new team, but realistically, get depth in those positions. Exactly. Like, I don't want to make it a comparison to Arsenal because of Arsenal and all that stuff, but let's say
I think it's a rightful comparison.
Two seasons before, if you go back,
Arsenal had the same issue for like 4 years.
Well, this is what I'm saying, and when we got to the back end of the last 2 seasons, we went, injuries. Even last season, when we didn't buy a striker in January, we knew that in the summer we were going to go out and get that striker.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? In our defensive positions, we've got 12 left backs, bro.
Yeah.
We've got 12 left backs.
Got bare fullbacks.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Mikel Arteta has prepared for every position. He's got players that can. This is your position, but you could play left back, you could play centre back, you could play right back, you could play left back. You could play in the middle, you could play on the left. Do you see what I'm saying? And there's always like a fall off. So we go, if this person's not playing well, this person's injured, put this guy in. I think the left back is the most extreme example of this, because literally from when he started with Zinchenko back in the day, the left backs have been on rotation like this. Exactly. And I thought when...
who is it playing left back then? You've got people can play left back.
Calafiori, Lewis-Skelly.
Yeah, Lewis-Skelly. And Timber can play left back.
Timber can play
Timber
left back.
Timber
Was Mascara also play left back?
No, he can
play right.
We can make.
He can play left-sided centre back, but I think he's more comfortable on the right side.
Then sorry, but like
But even we even had this. Ben White played centre back.
Yeah.
He's played right back. I think we stuck him left back one time.
Yeah.
Tomiyasu, when he was here, he could play all across the thing. So all these we've been picking up these players gradually, even the ones that have been going. But as soon as someone goes, there's in someone equal or better than that person, mostly. not in every position. Make
sure the drop off isn't
left wing.
Obviously, if you're going to miss a Gabriel Saliba, obviously a Mascara and Hincapié are not to the same level, but they're still very good. So you can get. That's we played Bayern. We played Bayern Munich with no Gabriel and Mascara came in, but nobody remembers that because of how well he played, the levels that he played. And that's the issue with Spurs is like you look at them and it's like, okay, last season I had Abby every week saying we have 17 injuries, and you went into the season and said, okay, we're just going to stick with Van der Ven, Romero and Danso. We've got Dragusin, who's just torn he's coming back from an ACL, and you're back in the same position because you haven't
terrible,
exactly, but you haven't prepared yourself. You haven't prepared your squad, your team. So now we're seeing Archie Gray doing right back and centre back and left back and playing all over the place because your board has failed to prepare. Whereas every other team in the Prem most teams in the Prem have looked at it and said, right, we're in the Champions League. We're going to be playing every single game of the league. We've got the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup. Obviously, every team has aspirations to try and win something. You need to have a deep squad. The teams that have the deep squad and have actually invested in those areas, as you can see, are the ones that are flourishing, going quite far. Yeah. The teams that haven't done that, you see Aston Villa, they lose players, they're dropping out of the top 5. You see Chelsea, no Levi Colwill, he torn his ACL, didn't replace him. They're having defensive issues at the moment. Spurs, perfect example, literally fighting relegation. You have to prepare for these things. Absolutely. Haven't prepared.
Yeah. And talking of left backs, actually, you feeding very well to something we didn't speak about yesterday. But no, because I do want to have this conversation about Miles Lewis-Skelly. Yeah. Right. So, because the reports are saying, and I fully believe these reports from United side, saying that Sky Sports News, Daniel, who's a United reporter for Sky, came out and said that Miles Lewis-Skelly is on United's list of possible left-back signings, which is that's so normal.
How many more hell-end players you want? giving you Chile.
Look,
We've
to me,
given
look,
you
look,
Aiden
Heaven was. Thank you.
Who else? Do you
Honestly, thank you.
Next
Look,
year, next
really
year,
like Miles.
next year you're going to be telling me you want Max Dowman. Like, honestly.
Yeah,
Of course they do.
Yeah,
Bring. Well, Max Dowman and JJ Gabriel. Crazy.
Yeah, what's that issue?
England, we got you. But no, but on a real because so we need a new left back. That's super obvious, right? Luke Shaw, as much as I like him, he's past his best now. He's doing all right, but I think physically he is now just.
If he gets injured,
he's playing. You will have
when
seen
he's good, he's
all
good.
right.
When he's good, he's good. It's only when he gets injured and then you he'll be out for a while.
We're going to see it.
But he's missed.
No, but that's what I'm saying. He's been good this season. No, but this is the thing.
He wasn't even called up to a 35-man squad.
Good because he needs to retire from international football because he can't.
He's not going to go to the World Cup.
No, he's not. But
injured.
he's like, what was it? The last Euros or World Cup or whatever when he was injured, and then like
turned up.
What was it? They took him injured.
Yeah.
That was it, innit?
Yeah.
They took him injured.
But remember,
and,
Saka
and,
had to play left back.
and then it was all the way up until he went, right, he can play now.
Yeah.
Like, what? We went straight to the team. He scored in the final of the Euros.
Yeah,
he
I
was
know, right at the beginning, and then we parked it.
Is that earliest goal England of what is that earliest? And
then we parked
some
it
sort
up.
of record. Yeah,
Just
no,
keep going.
Luke Shaw, like, it's such an annoying topic to talk about because from day one, like literally as soon as we bought him from Southampton, he has been a brilliant left back. But unfortunately, we see that 15 games a year on average. Like he's missed like 2 seasons worth of football. Or like 3 seasons, or something ridiculous.
Tomiyasu?
It's crazy. No, but Luke Shaw's a certain level above Tomiyasu.
But Tomiyasu was kind of like that for us in the sense that he was so brilliant. Like he, at one point, he was our starting right back. We moved him to left back. He was brilliant. Like honestly, I remember going into games like Tomiyasu's injured, but he literally missed like more than a season for us, and it just got to a point where it's like we have to cut the loss.
Well, because he was a handy player for you. He was like
more than that. He was starting.
No, I mean, like he's what you now have. He was what you now have in like Nkapie, for example. Is that initially it was like, okay, he's brought in as a centre back who can also play on the left, blah blah. But now suddenly he's storming it.
Yeah.
And he's providing incredible competition, and like because Nkapie had a
love him.
First few months. There were some questions, but now he's settled in. He's great. Obviously, he scored that great goal against Wolves, and he's now absolutely flying. Nkapie is
brilliant.
But with Miles Lewis-Skelly is so because part one is United because we're looking for new left backs because Luke Shaw, like we say, he's shot. He's only going to get worse. He's in the final year of his contract after, so he's got like 16 months left on his deal or whatever it is. The other, and then with left back, we're seeing what happens with Harry Amas because he was smashing at Harry Amas at Sheffield Wednesday. We recorded him from Sheffield Wednesday, sent him on loan to Norwich, and he got injured in training immediately, out for most of the season. Harry Amas is great, but then we also have the topic of Dorgu. Is Dorgu a left back? Is he a left winger?
He's a winger, bro.
He's a winger.
I think he's a winger personally.
He's a winger.
100%. I think he's a winger.
His best. You look at him when he was out in Italy. Winger.
His ball striking is great.
Yeah, he is.
He's when he's on confidence, and he's back. He might be back for the Leeds
it's
game.
been a long time actually.
Yeah, well, his 10-week injury was what he got, hamstring injury against Arsenal. Is that 10 minutes to go? He went down. I was like, oh, he might be. Carrick went, he's probably fine, and then Laurie Whitwell went, 10-week hamstring injury, boys. He might miss the Leeds game, but I think he might then play against Chelsea. Or like he'll be back soon. But we need left backs. We definitely
do. And especially going into next season, like you're going to be going right. We're back in Europe, exactly, and then going back into playing 2-3 games a week.
Mm-hmm.
He can't handle that many games.
Sure going to play. Like
yeah,
he's not going to play both games. But the thing is that I wanted to get onto. This is what it does depend on how much you believe Ben Jacobs. But I would say, like Ben Jacobs, it's not like he just absolutely waffles all the time. But what he said yesterday, because he was asked about it on the United Stand stream, and Ben Jacobs said it's definitely true that United have held some talks of Miles Lewis-Skelly. It's definitely driven from the player side in terms of getting more minutes. One of the reasons they want to investigate this is because he can play midfield, obviously, as well as left back. Obviously, he is a midfielder who played very, very well at left back. I personally, I think I've explained to you before, I do have a bit of a personal connection with him. In that, just for anyone who's wondering, obviously, I'm not claiming to be a coach or anything, but he used to come down, because I used to be a tennis coach when I was younger. He used to come down.
So you made him this good at football from tennis training?
Yeah.
Wow. You know, remember when Rio Ferdinand used to say, do ballet? Forget that. Do tennis.
Because actually, what the actual story is during COVID, all sports were banned, and then they brought tennis back because it was so far apart.
Yeah.
Arsenal sent all their academy players out, and they went go and play tennis. And Miles Lewis-Skelly lived really nearby.
Yeah,
and so he literally just rocked up and went, I play for Arsenal. Him and his mum rocked up and went, but my son plays for Arsenal. He needs to be doing exercise. You guys are doing tennis camps because like his mates from school would come to our camps because this is back when he was in like year 6, year 7.
Local team.
And he was
Thank
so
you
good
for
at
your
tennis,
contributions.
By the way, he was so good.
Yeah.
I'm playing the long game here now because now
Thank
he
you for the
comes to United.
contributions.
It would be an interesting, but also how much would that cost?
A lot.
Surely
he just
that
signed
would
a new
be
contract, mate.
Yeah.
I
At least
just
50 mil.
Yeah,
That's what I mean. That is a massive transfer.
Yeah.
I think with Miles,
I just don't think it would happen.
Miles has been unfortunate this season. What's not gone in his favour is that basically when we went pre-season, he wasn't good. He had a really bad pre-season. Him and Martinelli had a really bad pre-season. And we saw that when we started the season, that Trossard was starting and Calafiori was starting. A lot of people were like, yo, that's really harsh. Miles just had a brilliant season. Like, you can't forget those Real Madrid games. He gets an assist in that. Do you know what I mean? He was
On top of that, Calafiori was meant to be the guy. The only reason that Miles even got a place was because Calafiori was injured.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then, like, you look at how well Calafiori has done, you look how well Hincapié has done, and then when Miles has come in, he's not had the greatest.
We have one start in the league this season.
He's not had really any great games. Like in the cup games, I think when we played Mansfield Town, you could see they were targeting him. He looked so rusty. But in my personal opinion, he's not a left back. He was just put there as like a makeshift because we had no one.
Yeah.
You look at that guy in midfield. The way he just drives with the ball is unbelievable for such a young person. He's only about 18 years old. The way he drives with the ball, I see him as the future of Arsenal, and I really want to see next season us trying to hone him as like a Declan Rice-esque profile.
I was going to say,
because that is
he's
exactly
very far from Declan Rice, but he's a little
but I just
bit
think,
like Rice.
We're sat here saying,
way.
right, if Declan Rice is out, and I'm like, yo, we've got someone who's from our academy who shows those traits. I saw it against Real Madrid where he just picked up the ball, he's running, he puts in a ball to Mikel Merino, bang, third goal. Like, he's just so brilliant at ball carrying.
Yeah.
He definitely needs to work on other things. I think the reason why he doesn't start, for us, one thing that we're heavily dependent on is crossing, and his crossing is really poor. He needs to work on that. But in the summer, I want to see him being honed into that type of profile because that's literally what he is. He is a box-to-box midfielder.
Is it loan maybe the best idea, though?
No, I just think next season...
I think it depends because what is happening now is that we need to win the league. Yeah. And then once you win the league, despite the pressure of there being on you to defend it, there's also the pressure off of you that you've done it, you got over the line.
Yeah.
We've got a little bit more freedom now. Beginning of the season, we can try and start something new. Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like nearly every season under Arteta, the game plan's changed a little bit. Yeah. Like we've been more attacking at some points, we've been more defensive at some points. We've had this little mix, kind of we're going to do counter-attacking. So I feel he just needs to be patient and just go and wait and see what happens. And unless the team next season, like Mikel says, gives a whole set of false promises, and even if he does, don't sell to your rivals, mate.
Yeah. I remember, I think last season as well, after we played that Real Madrid game, apparently Real Madrid really liked him, and we were like, absolutely not.
At the Bernabeu, he was...
Yeah, he was unbelievable.
Oh, my...
I think AFTV posted how he was our highest rated defender at the against Real Madrid in them legs. Like, what does that say? The guy's not a scrub. He's a good player. He's a really good player. I even think for England, like when he went for that camp where Thomas Tuchel said, being a good citizen's not enough, you can tell Thomas Tuchel likes him because he played him in the next game despite saying that.
Scored, didn't he?
Yeah, he scored in his England debut. Brilliant goal. He's got so much to give. He just needs to...
I do think the transfer is, although I understand why United look at it, I just think it's a non-starter because
he's too important.
And it's also, it would just take so much legwork to get it done.
Yeah.
For something that you can't guarantee, like in a position that you kind of need a semi-guarantee on. Yeah. And because in the same report, we were also linked to Lewis Hall. And I look at Lewis Hall and I go, if we want to sign him... Huh?
We're linked to Livramento.
Right, everyone's linked to Newcastle.
I know, everyone's linked to Newcastle.
Well, have you seen what came out
Sandro
yesterday?
Tonali.
Tonali,
even we
top choice.
You guys love him. We apparently in January, do you not remember apparently Newcastle gave a thing to the press being like, we're not selling him to Arsenal because apparently we were sniffing around. I actually feel a bit sorry for them. Because everyone wants to
I think the Tonali one. So with the news, because obviously it was me, Marcel, and Amy were on here yesterday when it came out, the news saying that Tonali create hope. By the way, if we decide to go for Tonali, this isn't any sort of information or anything.
Anderson, no?
He's not as good at Elliot Anderson. I've been saying for a year or so that Elliot Anderson is. Like, if I was to sign anybody,
that's your guy.
That is my guy because he's so good. But he is going Man City, and it's going to hurt me.
Yeah,
because he's going to be there for a decade. As soon as Rodri starts losing his legs after terrorizing me for the last 5-6 years, they go and get one of my favourite other midfielders.
Rodri's twerking to go Real Madrid.
Yeah,
like,
but I think that Tonali transfer will be. I think we could do that like this.
I think so as well.
If we actually, if we decide, you know what, Elliot Anderson, we're not even going to try, and we try because the Belieber transfer, I think we can do fairly quickly.
Yes, yeah.
And I think the Tonali one as well. And if we
I think you're going to have a lot more pulling power, especially since you're going to have Champions League.
This summer, if we can get them to, because we need midfielders, right?
Yeah.
If we before the World Cup, right? I know I'm kind of dreaming here, but if we were able to before the World Cup go Belieber Tonali, like that, that would be crazy. Because Bruno would stay, that would be huge. Then we can then try and I don't know, work out a Lewis or something. We can try and find a new left wing, and we can then kind of go on to other targets and find other stuff. If we can get 2 Premier League experienced mids that quickly, that will change.
How much time is there between the end of the season and World Cup?
3 or 4 weeks, I want to say.
Yeah, I want to say.
World Cup's
I think
it's about 4 weeks.
Yeah, but also you need to remember the players.
Finishes
the players that would obviously go to a World Cup final usually come back later as well because they're given an extended time. They're given like an extra 2 weeks.
Well, I think it's mandatory 3 weeks.
Yeah,
FIFA gives. But like, Belieber's not going to the World Cup, which is why I'm so convinced that's going to happen.
Can you believe
really
it?
Quickly?
Yeah.
I'm a believer that he will be. He will turn good again. I think he'll be. Look, and he's a United fan, and part of me is always like, I want to have fans playing for the club.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not saying like get KG on left wing, but
don't. His hamstrings will go, fam.
running
I've seen
down
it.
the left.
I've seen it in real life, bro. I saw this guy run for the ball, and his hamstrings went. Bro, this guy said, "Put me on front." Yeah, and he went. He started running. He went. Leg.
Bro has no mobility.
He was gone. He was on the floor. He was like, right.
Mobility he's got. It's a long day. No, but it's so important to our summer from a United perspective.
I like Sandro Tonali. He's really good. He's a very technical player, and also what's good about him, he can play different positions. He's a bit of a
I think the idea of him and Mainu playing together is great.
Yeah, like exactly. Yeah, that would be perfect.
This is so when we were linked to. I remember putting a tweet out. I put a tweet out about it a few days ago, and I got some pretty hefty responses. But I basically said because when we were being linked to Bruno G, I was like, because I partly said I was like, when we signed Casemiro at like 29, we spent 60 million on a 29-year-old Brazilian midfielder.
Yeah.
And then we complained about it, and then said we'd never do it again. And then
wait, is that how old Bruno G is?
Bruno's 28. He's turning 29 in like September.
I thought it was much younger.
But then the point I was making, I was like, and so to replace Casemiro, we're going to go with a 28-year-old Brazilian midfielder again for 60 mil. But he's a great player, Bruno G is. If you were to offer me one of them two, Tonali all day.
I do think DMs, though, typically, it's one of them positions where, like, if they're a bit older, it's not that bad. Because I feel like you kind of get into your prime a bit when you're maybe in that, like, 26 to 28, 9 range of DM.
Like 26 to 30.
Yeah, because like you've played enough of it now to like really know, like you maybe get into your better years.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, but I think you'd have to investigate Bruno G a bit more because he's always had this injury. I don't know.
I really like the signing, but Bruno G, if he played for us, would be best playing in Mainu's position. And But
you need depth.
We need depth 100%, but I've openly admitted a number of times that obviously I will always have a leaning towards academy players because it's just like this is why I defend Marcus Rashford so much. Is why I was so staunch on Kobbie Mainoo when everyone was getting at him for not playing. They were like, "Oh, maybe he's overrated."
Kobbie, that's my guy.
Yeah, no, I know you. I know you were with me on that, but it's like I want this side to be around a good Kobbie Mainoo. As long as Kobbie Mainoo can stay as good as he is and get better and be the midfielder that I know he can be, everything should be around him. So dropping 60 mil on someone who would compete with him when we need someone who should actually be playing alongside him, I'm like, no, get Belieber and get Tonali. I like Bruno G, but it just doesn't work.
But I also feel like getting someone competition can make them much better.
Yeah.
But
Tonali can play as an 8.
Yeah,
you could play Belieber and Tonali together behind Bruno Fernandes.
No, I actually agree.
That'd be a crazy midfield. Oh, bro, I've spent a couple years looking at a finished Casemiro. He's not finished anymore.
Yeah,
but he was finished last season.
Watched him against France yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch. I was busy crying. I was busy
damn,
crying.
That Brazil midfield needs legs, fam. That Brazil
it needs everything.
Legs,
yeah. It needs everything.
I was like, that's the only.
Neymar hasn't got any legs, and they need Neymar. Yeah, that's how deep it is.
It's deep.
That's how deep it is.
I watched that midfield like, ugh.
Everything.
What was it? They started with Casemiro, Andre Santos, and then Rafinha just had a stinker. 10.
Yeah.
And came off half time. But there was no legs in that. It was deep.
Yeah, no, just we need so many midfielders, man. Just bring me anyone. Bring around.
we all need
Give me Bruno Fernandes, Kobe Mainu, and just someone like Tonali, man. Just a really good DM, and let everyone else cook. Oh, it could be so good. But equally, if we don't get these kind of deals over the line fairly quickly, our summer could get quite stuck.
Who are you getting rid of?
Who are we getting rid of?
No, not who would you get rid of?
In the squad.
Yeah.
This is
Aside from Casemiro, obviously is going.
Yeah.
But
Dallo.
no,
Shit.
I wouldn't get
Oh
rid
my
of Dallo.
This is the problem with these United fans.
I'm no, but like
This is the problem.
I wouldn't get
This is the
I wouldn't get rid
This is the
of
problem.
him.
This would be the equivalent of Spurs fans. No, I don't want to get rid of Emerson Royale. That's what he is.
I would if we
Get
got
rid.
if we got a new right back, cool.
Yeah, that's what you need to do. You
No,
need
but
to
no,
go and get.
but I mean, in
You need
terms
to
of,
go and
like-
get a good. You need
like
to go and get
as
a better
a
right
profile
back.
person, I appreciate.
Okay,
Dallo's-
appreciate him and send him on his way if you're a serious club.
No.
What you
I
need to do,
appreciate
go
how
and
he
get
is
your
in the squad. No,
no,
you
no,
need
no,
players in the squad who aren't going to start every.
Wait, let him land because I want to see where this is going.
Because
do you love your club?
Look at the other players that we have right in this squad. So Manu Ugarte, etc. Like players like him, I'd be like, actually ship them on,
Of course.
please.
Yeah,
Him
but
and
let's say
whereas-
if I said to you now, right, you can get rid of 4 players. Yeah. Oh, you want Tonali and that? Yeah, we can make that happen, but get rid of
in
4
your
men.
actual squad right now, not like
the
loan
way I see it, if we get rid of Dallo, it means we have to then go and get another right back.
You
We've
need
got
another
so
right
many
You need
other-
another right back
we need-
anyway.
we need another right back as it is. So and then suddenly the shopping list becomes a left back, 2 right backs, 3 midfielders, a second striker, and a left wing. Like, how are we going to do that?
Not being
I
funny.
would
Bro,
rather
Bro,
deal with
I'm
that.
I'm not being
I
funny,
told
yeah,
you
but
just
what
how
was
to.
it with that
I just told you how to
just
do it,
did-
bro.
nah,
I just
nah.
told you how to do it. Arteta settings, bro.
Exactly. We
Yeah,
just went and got, like, 7 players,
multifaceted
bro.
players.
No,
yeah?
but how do you do that in one summer?
We just went and got 7 players in one summer. What are you talking about?
No, I
We
I know.
literally went into the
I know,
summer.
I-
We
No,
went
but
into
this
the-
is what I'm
no,
saying
no,
as well.
we went to the
Who
summer
are you
saying-
selling? Like, because obviously you're gonna have money that you've got apparently in your little war chest, yeah. But you need more, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm saying sell some man. Who are you selling to get in the players that you need?
And don't tell us Rashford and that. We're talking about actual in your here with you right now.
Let me
United.
let me get
Right here,
let me get the
right
squad
now.
because
Because
my,
I just
my
see it
brain's
as
working at about 20%.
we've been in
at the
your
moment.
position. We needed 2 DMs. We needed a backup goalkeeper. We needed about 3 flipping centre back.
And plus, but you got bare man on
needed
wages that are
needed a winger.
ridiculous.
Right. We needed a striker.
Players who I'm
Yeah,
like,
but not quite.
who I'm like 100% go. We've got like
Don't get rid of Tom Heaton. Hashtag
right?
the
Yeah,
heat is on.
ship.
Altai Binder. Well, Tom Heaton's going to retire at the end of the season.
What?
He's gonna go coaching badges.
How old is he? I thought he was young.
41.
The
Tom
heat is on.
Heaton.
Oh, I thought
Tom
you
Heat-
said. I thought you said Bayern did.
No, but Binder's like 26.
I was gonna say. What do you
27.
mean he's retiring?
Is it 27?
Oh, Tom
Binder
Heaton, yeah.
go. Well, obviously Andre and Arnold we have to sell him because
Yeah.
well, he's
Goodbye.
coming back in the summer.
No, but
So
you're
we
getting
actually
rid
got
of
to
him.
sell him.
Of course
But yeah, so Binder
I hope he stays.
go.
But you ain't getting.
I
them
am
done.
starting to be slightly. Josh is going to be angry behind in production here, but
Just do it.
Delit, I do have
fake
a
Josh.
question mark over.
Okay,
He
let me
has
tell-
to be fit next season and
Yeah.
stay fit.
Let me tell you.
I was just. I saw the door open. I was wondering
No.
if he was going to come in and get
Let me
annoyed
tell.
at me.
Let me tell you this, right? The best ability is availability. There's no point of
Yeah.
having someone who's gonna turn up.
Mason Mount as well.
Yeah, shit.
Cheerio.
Like there's no point
Manu
of having
Ugarte.
someone brilliant but they hardly play.
Cheerio. Joshua Xerxes
Goodbye.
go as well.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's and then obviously Jadon Sancho is
Oh, Jadon
leaving.
Sancho's gone.
Because Josh just said to me, Delit's our best centre back when he's fit.
When he's fit.
I
When was the
was-
last
I
time he
was,
played?
um,
Last time he played against
30th
Spurs.
November.
Wasn't that against
I
Spurs?
still
No,
don't
it
even.
was,
I still
Palace
don't even
2-1
think he's the
win.
best when you're
Like,
fit.
how long
I
ago
think Harry
was that?
Maguire is.
No, if all our centre backs are fully fit, it is Lissandro Martinez.
Again,
But
another,
Yeah.
another person,
if they're both
another
fit for a full
person,
season,
you're-
that is a
you're-
fantastic
But even then, that's another
Another
one.
person you guys need
Martinez,
to-
I forgot he even existed
But
because he was
that's what I
out for
mean
so
about-
long.
well, there's a difference between question marks versus players I actually want gone.
Yeah.
Delit, Martinez, Dallo. I'm putting Dallo in the question mark side. of
Dallo
that.
I hear it though. I
I'm
hear
not.
it though.
I'm not grouping Dallo with Xerxes, Ugarte, and stuff because you just said the best ability is availability.
Yeah.
Dallo is so available.
I'd
He's
rather have
always
no one
available, and he will
I'd rather
always
have no one
at least try
available.
and put a shift.
I'd rather have no one available.
He was terrible at wing back. He's not actually a bad right
bad.
back. He's
No, I was
he's a
gonna
bit
say- I was gonna
brain
say
dead.
that.
He's
I was
a
gonna
bit
say
brain
that.
dead in the final
so
third.
bad.
Two
we need
things-
to upgrade
Do you
on
know
him
how many
eventually.
edits I saw?
Two things have been getting Dallo.
Compared to
I'm gonna
other
start- I'm gonna
areas
start
in the
crying.
squad, like a second, like we need a backup striker.
Yeah, but
and
no, those
stuff.
are two things that I think that
Different
have got Dallo because of all the manager changes and the formation changes. This guy, you call him a right back. Yeah, he's been playing right wing back, left wing back, left back,
wing.
left wing, and I'm like,
Yeah, but
Well, he's not. He's a right back. So
but you could say all that for Dorgu, but we're not sat here saying Dorgu.
I know, but I'm saying that.
Dead, are we?
I'm not saying that as like a. He's not. But some players, you go, this guy's not bad if he plays in this position. There's some players who can't do that. Do you know what I'm saying? There's other players you can stick them anywhere and they'll be fine.
Dalot is very easy to point at and just go because he does have.
There's worse in your squad by
he has some absolute brain dead moments that obviously in football terms.
Yeah.
He does like what was it? The miss against
he missed an open. Who did he miss an open goal against? And I started laughing.
He misses a lot of open goals. But I'm trying to. Who was it recently that we played? I think it was Villa. It was Villa. He skied a goal. Like he has those moments where, as a right back, I'm like, why are you in the 6-yard box? Why is Bruno Fernandes crossing? And why is it? How is it's like always? How is Dalot ended up there? But like as an inverted fullback, like coming in and playing in midfield, Dalot's actually he's all right at it. He actually is. And I am specifically saying all right. I'm not saying great. I know Laurie gets on to me all the time. I'm not saying great.
Welcome to your boy. Welcome to your boy Dalot.
Welcome to your boy Dalot.
Welcome to your boy Dalot.
Welcome to your boy Dalot. What happened to your boy Dalot? No, but I just think there are other players in our squad and bigger holes in our squad. We can talk about
that brother
right
as far as
next summer. It's just I wouldn't like. There's just other areas I'd rather.
Yeah.
Like if we get a good squad and Dalot stays as an inverted right back, he defends. He's fine. Specifically, fine.
Okay.
Not any more than that, but that's how I see it. If that makes sense.
This is the issue, but carry
on. Should we talk about Liverpool and Salah?
Go on then.
Because we had this debate. We had this debate the other day on Wednesday about possible Salah replacements. We did a rocket rank about possible Salah replacements, and I said if you want to spend big, go big. The obvious one is Olise, right? But the more I've been thinking about it, the shout of Jared Bowen, I genuinely think could be very good because it would be very stable. So when an amazing player, world-class, elite, legendary player leaves, trying to replace them with another possible elite level player doesn't always work.
Yeah.
So I do think sometimes the best way to replace, so like when Bruno Fernandes goes, I look at it, best way to replace him is probably just stop playing with a number 10. Don't try and replace a number 10, just change. So, and I do think...
I don't even think you need to change. I think what Liverpool should do is do what they did when they got Mo Salah, which was go and find someone who really... I don't want to say Mo Salah was in obscurity because he wasn't. We didn't know about him, but he wasn't the glamorous name. He was just maybe a workhorse in a different league who kind of got overlooked. That's what they need to go and do. Don't go and do what they did this season where it's like, right, we're getting Isaac, we're going to get Florian Wirtz. That's not the Liverpool way. The Liverpool way is, right, we're going to go and find the diamond in the rough somewhere in a league in Italy or in Germany where this guy's playing in plain sight and no one's really looking at him too hard. That's what they need to go and do. And I do think Jared Bowen is a good option, but I still think they need to do a bit more if that's who they're going to get.
Yeah.
But I just think this whole, we're going for the big name, like looking at the Olises or whatever, go and try and find someone who's... And then
go and find someone.
So we look at him, we're like, raw.
Certainly get you basically like 12 to 15 in all comps.
I feel like look at that front three of
get
Bobby.
Isak back.
Yeah.
Get Isak fit.
Look at
Bowen
that front
and
three
Isak.
of,
like the work that Jacob Murphy did.
Yeah, exactly.
For Isak.
Unglamorous
I
player,
can
but-
really see Bowen doing something similar like that for Isak.
Exactly.
Not saying that they're similar players, but Bowen is moldable. He can play up front. I think Bowen should be going to the World
look
Cup.
at some
Not
of
to
their
mention he's a
really
strong
good-
Premier League proven player.
Yeah.
And I think another thing, a good point from following on what you were saying, Kenya, is that when you go and you find some of those players that aren't the £10 billion players and stuff like that, they've got more of a hunger to prove themselves.
Exactly.
When you've already got the price tag on you and you've kind of gone like, I've made it. Not saying every player does this or whatever, but Salah, as a perfect example, is a guy that's coming in and is going, I haven't reached my ceiling yet, and I'm going to show that here.
When he joined Liverpool.
When he joined Liverpool, and he came and he done that. Do you know what I'm saying? And because they also had Mane on the other side, another player that while at the time everyone was going, oh wow, he's definitely going to get picked up by a big team or whatever. It wasn't a case of he's a 10 million. I mean, 10 million, that's a low number. He's a £100 million player or whatever, and he went to Liverpool and he done the same thing and he proved himself at Liverpool. And I think that's, like you said again, Kenya, is something that Liverpool is known for. So they need to kind of go back to the drawing board, because I think they threw the whole kitchen sink at it last season. It clearly hasn't worked. And don't be Tottenham and go back and do it again.
Salah for 37 and Mane for 34 million.
I even think...
Wow. I know obviously it was like 2017, that was much more expensive back then. Salah was their record signing then. But like in the grand scheme of things,
You go back to
what a couple
some
of
of their
transfers they
best
are.
players, like even someone like Diogo Jota, who sadly passed away. He came from Wolves. You know what I mean? Ryan Gravenberch, they didn't get him for that expensive. Do you know what I mean? He's one of their last season, one of their best players. Like, you kind of have to shop around in these small areas where people overlook sometimes. And I just think you look at some of Liverpool's best players in the last couple of years, they've all kind of come from these unglamorous areas. Instead of, like, you look at their big money signings, like a Nunes, like a Florian Wirtz, like a Isaac. It's not really worked, has it?
Ekitike even is up and down and up and
Yeah,
down. at the moment.
Ekitike started off brilliant, but now it's kind of like petering out a bit.
Yeah.
Go back to the Liverpool.
Yeah, because the reason I bring it up is obviously honorary president Uli Hoeneß from Bayern Munich. Because there's rumours basically saying that Liverpool are preparing an offer as high of 200 million euros. And he's basically said, if that's true, I don't believe it is. But if Liverpool spent like 430 mil in the summer and having a very bad season, so we won't be contributing to them playing better next year. It does seem a little if we go to 200 million in the bank, but he basically went, not even at 200 million, you getting Olise, mate.
I'm not even. I'm not
Yeah,
surprised.
which I'm not surprised
Did you
about.
see him yesterday, fam? He was playing well.
What Olise?
Yeah,
Oh,
playing
he's
really well
so
for
good.
France.
He's so good. What? How much did he cost? Like 55 mil.
Yeah, something dirt cheap.
Yeah.
He's brilliant.
How crazy! Imagine that Chelsea deal had gone through.
Yeah, I remember even we wanted him at one point as well.
Everyone wanted him.
Yeah,
He was our number one target.
exactly.
In like 2024.
He's fantastic. But why is there any incentive to leave Bayern? Like, you're playing with Harry Kane, one of the best strikers in the world. You're playing for one of
Champions
the
League
biggest
football.
clubs in the world. You're playing Champions League football
Getting
every
paid
season.
peas.
Getting paid big money. You're gonna win a league every season. Like,
And plus, you just joined, fam.
he's just joined. He's
Like-
probably thinking, oh, I've been in the Prem. Like,
Do you know what I'm saying? Secure your legacy.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think this will be a second season.
This is his second season. Yeah.
Why not? And now he's actually getting the respect that he deserves that maybe he didn't get at Palace because he's at the big club.
Yeah.
He's playing for France regularly. He's playing in the 10, stash on the wing sometimes. Like, I wouldn't leave to go.
No, I
Liverpool,
hear
to
it.
be honest.
I hear it. Like, and also on the topic of Olise, 'cause obviously Olise is out in Germany at the moment, and it's kind of I find it irritating from a Premier League fan perspective that he's not in the Premier League because I want to see all the best players in the Premier League. But obviously we're sponsored by Rocket Mobile. For just £16 a month, you can get unlimited calls, text data, and 20 gigs to use in the EU and select countries when you are abroad. Plus perks, content, other prizes as soon as you make the switch. So either scan the QR code in the bottom right-hand side of your screen, or if you're watching on YouTube at the end of the video, click the link in the description or the live chat to find out more. But in terms of Rocket Ranked for today, or just on the topic of Olise, who are 3 players who don't play in the Premier League, or maybe play outside, play in European football, or maybe even play outside Europe, that you wish or really want to see in the Premier League?
Keenan Yildiz.
That is a shout and a half.
Easiest thing I could ever say. I love watching that guy play.
He's signed a 5-year deal with Juve, hasn't he?
Love him. Absolutely. I would do anything for my club to sign him. I watch Syria a lot.
It'd be so good for you.
He's so brilliant. I feel like when we talk about Turkey, we also talk about Arda Güler. Nah, that's the real star. Do you know what I mean? The guy's such a baller. Even if he wasn't playing, I'd be sad if he wasn't playing for Arsenal. But if he was in the league, I feel like he'd be one of them talents we'd be like, wow, you just appreciate. He's definitely in
chat
my
has
top
also
3.
mentioned Doué, obviously.
Yeah, Desiree Doué would be sick.
100%.
Who else?
Do you think Desiree Doué could end up in the Prem? Like, is he going to stay at PSG?
I don't know. It's
forever?
hard. Who would he join?
I don't know.
It's hard to say, innit? Like, what? He'd obviously join a big club that's
Yeah,
gonna,
he joined.
like,
he joined one of the. He joined.
He maybe could join. He
he'd
could
join
maybe in the
whatever
future join a Man City, but it's kind of hard to see what Man City's future's like because
That's
Pep
I
days are
think
ending.
I can see him coming to the Prem when he's 25, 26
only
maybe.
young, isn't
He's like 21, 20 years.
He's
old.
very young, isn't he? I can't.
Yeah, he's 20. So I can't see
Who
like
else do I
4 or
wanna
5
see in the
years.
Prem?
But then it depends. Okay, who are the teams who are doing the dog's business in 5 years' time? That's really hard.
Yeah, exactly. It's true.
Because 5 years ago, you wouldn't be necessarily going, oh, it's going to be Arsenal.
Yeah, exactly. You can't in the
But
Prem.
obviously, it is now. Arsenal
Yeah.
are possibly the most attractive
you
project
never
to
know
join
what's
at
going
the
to
moment.
happen in 5 years' time in the Prem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't know what's going to happen. Oh, who else would I wanna see?
maybe it'd be a Man City signing.
do you know, I would-
Are Man City even going to be here? Is anyone you've got?
No, still at PSG, bruv. I've always liked Bacola, fam. I always
Bradley
think.
Barcola.
Yeah, no, I've always.
No, he's good.
To
like
see him in the Prem, I just think he would be like one of those, like a Saint Maximum or Trail, like just those quickie, maybe not always get the finish off or whatever, but just so tricky. And I think in one of those mid teams, like a Villa or something like that, I'll go.
that's
He would fit in perfect there.
Barcola goes.
I'm not saying I want him at Arsenal.
goes to
I'm
Newcastle.
saying in the Premier League. Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? I feel like he just fits in that mold of, right, let me try something different from being at PSG or whatever. Let me be the main guy somewhere or whatever. And he could
Actually,
go and do that.
you know what? I'm gonna throw managers into this as well.
Oh, go on then.
Well, just as an idea, because for example, I would be so interested to see how like Cesc Fabregas would do in the Prem, because he is
That'd be
beyond.
cool.
He's smashing it beyond belief.
Yeah,
at Como.
Como. They're fourth,
He is,
though.
yeah, he is. They are.
Pick
He
them
is
up.
so good.
That's
I would
doing
not necessarily yet. I wouldn't want him to come in at kind of his current age, like do
Yeah, we
more,
got to wait a few
like-
years so he
yeah.
can take over for
see what-
Mikel.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well,
all
how
part
long-
of Wenger's
how
master
long has he
plan.
got at Arsenal?
Depends on trophies, mate.
But
Depends what happens.
Depends on
the
trophies.
The next
depends on
10 games.
depends on what he wins and depends on him.
No, because don't get it twisted. Yeah, this is Arsenal we're talking about. He could not win anything, and they're still keeping him because
Yeah,
he was
exactly.
close. Yeah, let's not.
Let's be serious here.
Yeah.
Do you know who else I like? Although he's a bit older now, Jules Brandt. I really love watching Jules Brandt play as well from Dortmund. So I wouldn't mind.
I remember his breakouts.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him. That would be really cool as well. Who else?
I like it. Well,
Slotterbeck in the Prem would be
Slotterbeck,
sick
yeah.
because he's a fantastic.
Jamal Musiala would.
Yeah, Musiala.
Oh,
would be sick.
Musiala's new.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Like, you could say the easy stuff like Lamine Yamal, but I just think he'd get kicked. He'd literally just get kicked
Well, he's
in the
not
Prem.
got a great record against English teams.
Yeah.
Now.
No, but I just think like he's brilliant, but like you see the treatment that like really good consistent wingers get once they're in the Prem. Like we're just a very physical league. There's not much protection for those type of
But I
players.
think as well-
he would literally just get booted.
You know, I wish I could have seen in the Prem. Obviously, won't happen. Would be
Ademola
is
Lookman, come back.
Lewandowski.
Oh yeah.
Wish
that
I'd
would
seen
be sick.
If Lewandowski in the Prem would have been
Maybe Victor Osimhen, just because like he's a big personality.
Osimhen is
So Prem coded.
Oh, he's Prem coded. He's
so
Prem
Prem
coded.
coded.
I could see him in a
He'd be like
Chelsea shirt. I
Barkley's.
swear
He'd be
down.
like
Oh
Barkley's
yeah,
shirt.
so Chelsea.
I could see him in
Yeah,
a Chelsea
he's so
shirt.
He's
Chelsea
very
coded.
Chelsea and very United.
He's Prem coded.
No, I'm trying to think about-
through.
Like
Who
40
else?
in the chat says Nico Williams. Nah.
Nico Williams had his opportunity. Do you know how many Prem teams wanted him? He was,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and he was there.
Athletic
He was there
build-out.
saying, he was saying to Arsenal, "Nah, I want 350k a week." We were like, "Ha."
Do you know
that's
what?
Jokes.
I think he's shook of the league, fam. Because he could have been at any of the. Nah, I
could've
think he's
been
shook of
at
the league, fam.
bare teams
I think he's
wanted
shook
him.
of the league.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he signed a 10-year deal with
Like,
Athletic.
yeah.
Bilbao.
Yeah.
He could have stayed in La Liga with
Yeah, he went to
Barcelona,
Barca.
and he still said no.
Yeah.
Like, he's
No,
just
I think he's just.
He's comfy.
Yeah,
you don't
comfortable.
sign a 10-year deal at like 19 years old, while Prem interest and Barcelona interest. If you don't want to just chill.
Oh,
or
that,
if you're going to Chelsea.
that Esposito of Inter as well. I like him. That would be sick. He plays as a striker. He'd be really cool. He's just a very tall, physical centre back. Gets round.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. I'm trying to think. It's hard. I thought this is making me realise how there's just a lack of quality in the world right now.
Tim L. Sim sends in a super chat, big up, saying, surely Italy can't bottle against Bosnia, will they? Everything is lining up for the Italians to finally qualify for the World Cup. Sorry about Wales, bud, after the penalties. Yeah, man, I'm...
Lining up for them. They haven't got through, bro.
We're not even back for the FA Cup.
Hold.
Or European football.
I've got-
I've
got nothing left.
Hold that Bournemouth draw.
I've got nothing
And
left.
now I've got a whole...
Wait, when did England play next? We got our 2 friendlies, isn't it? Saturday and
England play...
Saturday or Sunday?
Yeah,
Just
tomorrow.
watch that. Just enjoy.
I can watch football.
We're playing Uruguay.
But I don't
Just
like
watch some
feel
football.
anything when England
Oh
play.
yeah, Valverde, bring to the Prem.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that guy.
Oh, today, 7:45 actually, Uruguay.
Bring him to the Prem. I love that guy.
Valverde?
Yeah,
I've been talking about
that guy can play
Valverde for
anywhere
years.
as well. Bring. I
I
love
think-
him. He's
I
my
love
favorite
him.
Real Madrid player.
Yeah, I've
Him and Mbappe, obviously.
got his kit.
He's sick.
What about someone like Mbappe?
Oh, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
That would be sick.
What team would
No,
you
but with
put him in?
but with Mbappe, if Mbappe's come to Prem, he has to come to my club. I don't want to see him play against us. He's one of them players where he's just.
Alright,
too good.
if he was
If he comes
thinking,
to my club,
if he wasn't at Arsenal, who do you think what team do you think he would fit best in outside of Arsenal?
I think
Because I think he would fit
he's
at
a
Arsenal.
United coded player.
no, he's not.
I think he is.
Where do you
no,
think?
I
I think
disagree.
he is.
I just can't think of a club where he'd join.
Like classic United, kind of brute force, quick, old school, just scores.
You know
goals,
you know the rest of your team best lock that. That Bruno's to
no.
face lock that.
Huh?
You know that's gonna happen
What's gonna happen?
if Mbappe joins your club. That's what I'm thinking. Who's
Mbappe could never go there. Have you seen?
Yeah,
Old
that's
Trafford?
what I'm saying. He could
It
like I
would
just
not-
can't.
it
I
right-
actually cannot
no, I'm
envision
saying
Mbappe.
right now, no, that wouldn't.
Like I'm just saying in general. I just can't envision him at this like new era of United. I just can't. Like even like nah, I just can't see it.
Nah, unless they build a whole facility for him. Like,
I can't see him at Man City either.
No.
It's too
you said
soulless.
Not Arsenal, but I think it is Arsenal.
I think it's Arsenal as well, but I'm saying because
I think Man City's a bit too
the
soulless.
automatic
You
thing-
asked the question, not
Newcastle
Arsenal, but
don't
it
have
is
a
Arsenal.
Newcastle don't have enough
No,
to,
they ain't got
to
enough.
Mbappe,
they're not
with all
big
due
enough
respect,
for
Newcastle,
Mbappe.
Mbappe isn't Newcastle coded.
Yeah.
What? No, I just said he's not big enough for a Newcastle. Like
Newcastle's not big enough for him.
Newcastle's not
Yeah,
big
they
enough
ain't
for him. Yeah.
He'll look at it like a prison fan, them black and white stripes. Like,
Yeah,
let me
it's
out.
like I really can't see him in a City kit.
I can't see him at Chelsea either.
Can't see him at Chelsea. Can't see
See him at Liverpool, and he's not Liverpool.
No,
he's not Liverpool whatsoever.
Yeah.
And he's definitely Spurs. We're not even considering. They're not even a big city.
Yeah.
They're not even a big city.
They don't even act like
we
big
actually
six.
may as well talk about Villa in that case.
Exactly.
You know, is Mbappe Villa coded?
No. Fam,
No,
he'd,
for me, it's
fam, after you sent
Arsenal.
Unai Emery to the Gulag last time, you'd be like, get out of my
Good
face, bruv,
evening.
at PSG.
No, I do think Mbappe would be Arsenal. It is kind
Really?
of the whole
Number
it's the whole
14
Thierry
shirt.
Henry thing as well.
Off the
But also,
left.
because I remember saying Isak was so Arsenal.
Yeah,
Isak not going to Arsenal is like a different timeline. It's like Bale never playing
Yeah.
at United.
It's just
a
another.
it's a different timeline. There is a
Different
timeline where that happens.
There's a Thailand where Kane went to United.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Or City.
should have.
Or Man City.
We said
Triggered him
no.
straight away.
Or Man
Bro, I
City.
should have. I hate that we never did that deal.
Or Man City. He wants to go
Kane,
Man
Kane
City.
to City. Kane
Yeah.
can do, but yeah. Well,
He
yeah,
really wants to
tried
go Man City as well.
Yeah. But we had the chance to sign him for like 40 mil like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And we said, no, we're like, oh, it's too much.
Lol.
But anyway.
And look how much you spent since then.
Pretty much.
On,
pretty
and
much.
on who?
Yeah, innit?
Flipping
Pretty
heck.
much wraps up with 70 million on Rasmus
England,
Højlund.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
Stop
say.
Jamaica.
But wraps up the show. Thank you guys very much for coming on.
Thank you.
Been good fun. And also everyone watching on Samsung TV or on YouTube or on Twitter or on Facebook, because we know you're all out there. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a great week. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Obviously, loads of content coming up on DR Sports as always, covering the rest of the international break, heading into the FA Cup next week or next weekend. And also then Premier League and Champions League are back in a couple of weeks' time. Obviously, just Premier League for me, not Champions League. But apart from that, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on Monday on Live at 5. Cheers.
Let's go. What do you do with yours? I do unlimited football content.
Well, I do unlimited bragging.
Well, I do unlimited swiping right.
Well, I do unlimited doom scrolling.
Well, I do unlimited sliding into the DMs.
Well, I do watching TikTok on the bus without headphones unlimited.
Oh, God.